Hey guys, Agent Luke here. Just wanted to give you an update on progress with Mother before I take off for a week to do some definitely much needed vacation. Uh, I've added a few blocks to the catalog this week, so we'll have access to batteries, we'll have access to landing gear and magnetic plates, and we'll also have access to both hydrogen and oxygen tanks. So we're quickly rounding out sort of those common blocks you'd want to use inside of an automation. I've also made some changes to the almanac screen. You can see right in front of you, waypoints are now diamonds. Your grid is now a triangle, and any other grid that you find will be some variant of a circle. So this will just help you visually disambiguate some of the different types of objects we're storing in our almanac. And then finally, I'll introduce the wait command. I know this was something you guys asked for. It's something that's been on my roadmap for a while, and I've done quite an aggressive refactor with how commands are handled by Mother, and I'm happy to say wait is now part of the core command library. So let's kick it off with the new blocks first. So we've got our batteries here containing battery 1. You'll notice it right here. The light indicator is going to be what we're going to watch for the changes today. We've also got plate 1, which is our landing gear plate on this arm. I've made some refactors to the left-hand side arm, which is why it looks different. That allows us to see the indications on the plate change. And we've also got 2 tank groups. Now you can't see them, they're on the bottom. We'll go to those specifically in a sec, but I've got 2 hydrogen tanks and a single oxygen tank. It looks like oxygen production went for some reason. That's okay, it doesn't really matter for the example. Cool, so let's go to Mother and let's take a look at these commands. So first off, let's look at the gear. So landing gear is quite simple. We'll use the gear keyword, and it's just going to be lock, unlock, very similar to a rotor hinge type of command structure. So if we go gear lock, and we know that's plate 1, we will see it lock here in green. Similarly, we can use the unlock, and of course we can also use toggle, which is sometimes used. So you notice green, orange, orange. That's it for landing gear, really that simple. We also have the ability to do it for the battery. So if we go battery, toggle, and remember we called it battery 1, we're going to run that, and we're going to see our battery change to, it doesn't actually tell us what it changed to, but you'll notice it's been toggled, and every time we toggle it, the light has changed. This will cycle between auto, charge, and discharge. And of course, if you want to target those specifically, you'll have the ability to set it to charge, you'll have the ability to set it to discharge, and you'll have the ability to set it to auto. So this should round out most of the battery commands you typically reach for. If we look at the underside of our ship, we'll also see our tanks here. We've got our oxygen tanks. Oxygen tank here with its indicators, and we've got two hydrogen tanks on the belly. You'll notice the indicators right here, these 4 lines, or 4 dots rather. And we call them tanks O and H, like I mentioned. So if we go down to Mother, the command will be tank slash, we'll start with stockpile, which is what our hydrogen tanks are in stockpile right now, but our oxygen isn't, so why don't we target that one first? So we'll go tanks O. When we run that, we'll notice the indicator has changed to the stockpile. Now, I didn't want to go off stockpile. I felt there was a really weird kind of antonym for this word, so I've actually selected share as the keyword for this. I figure the tanks either stockpile or they share their contents. So this one felt pretty natural, and of course it's nice and short. We also have the ability to toggle between the stockpile state, which we'll see here. And of course, this applies to the hydrogen tanks as well, across all of those different commands. Let's get a better view here. For some reason, it wasn't working. Yep, there we go. Just had a bad view on it. So toggle is working as well. And like I mentioned, you can easily activate stockpile or share commands on this guy as well. There we go. You can see them changing over here. Okay. So that's the block introductions for this version, but of course what I really want to get to is talking about wait. The wait command is going to allow you to defer your commands in time. So when we covered the last video, I introduced the ability to set commands at specific waypoints in your flight plan, right? So when we get to, say, Hyperion Outpost, we can do a series of behaviors, and in fact we'll see that again on this video. But the big change is we can now also make things wait in time. So let's take a look at a very practical example, very simple example. We'll just use our light to kick this off. So do a recompile. I'm going to just going to set my blink off for that light one, so it's not glaring in our eyes. So light blink, light one off. It's going to steady this guy. It did. And then we're just going to look at color. We'll do light one, and we're going to make it red. Okay, cool. Now, I want to wait after a certain period of time and then turn this light green. So all we need to do now is use the wait command. Very simple. It's the wait keyword and then delay in seconds. Okay, so our system is going to wait for 5 seconds, and then it's going to turn our light green. Let's watch that happen. There we go. There you have it. Now, if we want to take that even further to see how that would actually work inside of a routine, why don't we start by setting our light back to red, then we'll introduce our delay of 5 seconds, and then we'll turn the light green. Now we'll notice over here we've got our wait indicator, but we've also got a W up here which tells us there is an action that is waiting to be executed. This will kind of just keep you guys informed when you're pushing new stuff into the queue. Okay, now of course that's cool. But why don't we use wait in conjunction with our flight plan? So we notice our Corvette right now is kind of sitting in the middle of the flight plan, but we're going to wait for 5 seconds, and then we're going to fly our flight plan. You'll see the flight plan render after 5 seconds, then we'll start flying towards mothership exit. So I'm going to run that. Nothing happens, but we do see that we are waiting to execute. Give it a few seconds. Autopilot has taken over, and our flight plan has been engaged. Now that's pretty cool. But we're not the only ship out here, right? We also see mothership, and we've got our satellite out here. So what happens if we wanted mothership to fly this route as well? Well, all you got to do is go at mothership, target the other grid remotely like you usually do, introduce your wait as your first command, and then you can pass an FP test with 1, just like you use it locally. And in fact, Mother under the hood will deconstruct any custom command you've made into its core commands. That means that even if you've got your function or your routine defined locally on this grid, you can pass it to any other grid in a language it should understand if it's writing Mother. The commands don't need to be local to that other grid. There's also a way to do that if you want to target it with the underscore on that other grid, right? So running underscore FP test 1 would say, I want to run this custom routine on mothership. But if I leave it like this, it means run my version of FP test 1 and send it to the mothership. Okay, so mothership's down here at our safe point. We're going to run it, and we're going to see that that was sent over. Mothership's not going to do anything, but in a couple seconds, we're going to see the mothership start to move. And that's because that 5-second delay was passed over to the mothership before it began executing its flight plan. And there we go. We see it kind of pushing out of the safe zone, and it's also making its way towards the mothership exit waypoint. And it's flying the exact same flight plan our Corvette is. And if we were to go over to the mothership, we'd see a very similar output on its screen. So this is the update with the wait command, guys. I hope this was informative. Some other features I'm thinking about, I do want to introduce the ability to run different versions of Mother on the same grid, right? Imagine you have a programmable block with a very specific use case. I'd like it to talk to Mother and have Mother just handle sort of the core behaviors, but like that extension, we'll call it an extension to Mother run its own way. I'm also looking at formation flight and auto docking. You guys have seen all the basic building blocks that go into this. Now it's just a matter of sort of tying these together to facilitate a docking process. I hope to have a couple updates on that in the next few weeks. But anyways, that's it for me now, guys. I'll see you back in another week or so. I have lots of ideas of where to take this next, and I look forward to your feedback. Thanks very much. Happy engineering.